Today we are going to see object-oriented programming concepts, a most striking and important new programming paradigm. Before seeing object-oriented programming, we will discuss something about procedure-oriented programming. The procedure-oriented programming, all the data items are placed as global. It can be accessed by all the functions. Each function can also have its own local data. In procedure-oriented programming, the main program is divided into so many functions. Main program will contains the global data, and the global data will be accessed by all the functions. Here the program is divided into 8 functions. The function will access the global data. When you see this diagram, we can identify the functions can access the global data which can be used one another. What are the characteristics behind object-oriented programming are emphasis is given to the data. The items are placed as global so that they can be accessed by all the functions. Each function at the same time, each function can also have its own local data. It employs top-down approach in program design. Functions transform data from one form to another form. Data will be openly move around the functions. Large programs are divided into smaller programs which are known as the functions. The drawbacks of a procedure-oriented programming are since a program deals with the global data, if a new programmer arrives means he can accidentally corrupt the data. The second drawback is it is difficult to identify what data is used by which function. The third drawback is new data is to be added means all the functions have to be modified. The last and most important drawback is it does not fit for the real world problem. So now we are moving into the object oriented programming, which is a very important one in modern programming. All the languages are centered around this object oriented concept only. So C++, Java, BB, and all the new programming languages, Python, R, and all the things have been designed using this object oriented programming concept. When we see the characteristics of object-oriented programming, the program is divided into entities which are known as object, and the emphasis is given to the data rather than procedures. The data is hidden. The hidden data is known as the local data. The data is hidden inside the object, and it follows the bottom-up programming design. The lower level structures of the program are evolved first. If you want to clearly understand object-oriented programming style means here we will depreciate what there are 3 objects and each object contains own local data and each contains 2 member functions. So each object can communicate with another object through the member functions. So object 1 can communicate with the object 2 or object 3 through the member functions, and each have its own local data also. So 4 pillars of OOPS. The most striking features of OOPS are encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Encapsulation is which helps for data hiding. Abstraction shows only the essential attributes, and inheritance can be used for reusability. Polymorphism means an object can take more than. If you see encapsulation, the process of wrapping up of code and data together into a single unit. When you see this image, when we see a tablet means we can't identify what are the ingredients that are inside the tablet. Similarly, when we see a class means we can't identify what are the objects or what are the methods and variables that are inside the class. The bundling of methods that operate on that data. The third thing is it can be used to hide the data members and member. Abstraction. The concept of groups that shows only essential attributes and hides the unnecessary information. In encapsulation, all the data will be hidden, but in abstraction, the essential attributes will be shown to the users. It selects the data from a larger pool and shows only the relevant details of the object to the user. It helps in reducing programming complexity and efforts. To understand abstraction concept, if we see a mobile phone, we don't know the hardware or software configuration. While seeing the outer panel, we can't identify the software or hardware specification, how much memory is available, the chips used in the mobile phone and all. Similarly, if we design a class animal, we don't know what are the methods inside the class and what are the subclasses available. So there is a single method which is available in the animal class, make sound. This make sound will be overridden in the dog class and also in the cat class. Inheritance. The class which inherits the attributes and methods of another class. The parent class means the class whose properties and methods are inherited is known as the parent class or base class. An inherited class is called as the subclass. To understand the inheritance concept, if we see the real-time example, animal, we blindly say animal, we don't know which animal we are specifying. And animal contains so many methods that is common to all the animals. In the animal class, eating and sleeping are common for all the animals. And for the dog class, barking is specific, and for the cat class, meow is specific. So cat and dog inherits the methods from the animal class. Animal is the base and dog and cat are the subclasses. So we are moving into the last pillar of the object-oriented programming, which is polymorphism. Poly means many and morphs means forms. It allows to perform a single action in different ways. The advantage behind polymorphism is a single variable can be used to store multiple data types, and it is easy to debug the codes. If you see the image in the, if we see a person standing, the person belongs to a family means he can play a father role or a husband role. If he went to a grocery shop means he will act as a customer, and he will go for a meeting means he will act as a boss. The same person acts in many forms. That is known as polymorphism. Similarly, a single variable can hold different values. It can hold an integer value or an floating point value or a string value. Then it will be considered under polymorphism. Thank you.